All right, cool. Hey, we are live. That's right. I'm here with my brother, the one and only Rohan Brown, CEO and founder of Barley. You may ask, what is Barley? I'm gonna let Rohan tell you. Rohan, what is Barley?
Absolutely. So, from a consumer standpoint, Barley is the Starbucks app for bars. Are you tired of waiting in line or trying to get to your bartender's attention in order to grab a drink? No problem. Just use our app, order right through your phone, and your drink or order will be brought to your table. Or you can go to a designated pickup location at the bar, grab your stuff, show your confirmation number, and go about your business. We are looking to reduce the friction at the bar and create a more enjoyable nightlife experience. Yes.
Let me tell you, I've been there. I went to see it in action. It was so simple. It was almost like calendarly, for receiving a drink.
Yes.
I literally just tapped this, and I did the first version, the first iteration. So way back in 2019, and what was it? Was it 19 or 18? I don't know. But
1919, spring
yeah,
19. Yeah.
yeah. I think mine was winter. It was sort of winterish. But that bar I came to, where you did a demo, and it was somewhere in it was, I think, near South Street, but it was phenomenal. I was like, this is great. I could just order my drink, press the app, and order my drink. This is what's up.
Yes.
Um, so, but I want to unpack your journey because I met you on Word Radio, and you were doing one other. You were was the marketing director for this other app,
Yes.
and
CMO of another startup.
yes, and then I heard about you were doing barley, and was so excited to hear about a Philadelphia brother in the startup space. But then I didn't know you were a college athlete. I didn't know, your background in Philadelphia. So can you unpack a little bit about your journey as a founder, because you've been through several different levels, and then please speak to your demo day that you just had as an accelerator.
Absolutely. So I am originally from Hartford, Connecticut. If you know about Hartford, you know about Hartford. I was able to get a basketball scholarship to come over to Philadelphia, LaSalle University, stand up. Went to the Sweet 16 with LaSalle back in 2013. But not only was I a collegiate athlete, I was also a scholar student. Got my undergrad in about 3 years, and then I redshirted. So the last 2 years I used to get my MBA in finance. Worked in the corporate world for about 2 years. It wasn't satisfying enough for me, so I went off into the startup world and immersed myself into tech, and worked for another tech company in the sports tech realm, and then didn't really go as planned. So then I started my own thing, Barley, and here we are. But as far as the demo day last week, I got into this athlete accelerator called the Players Impact. It's a community of pro athletes, Olympians, and entertainers that come together to invest in startups. And I believe I killed the demo day. It went really well. Got some potential investors, and we'll see what happens from there.
So now let's you ran through a lot there. Let's unpack a little bit. So Hartford, Connecticut comes to Philly. Um, I know you released a video series on Instagram, and
I
because of
did.
that video series, I know that you ran into some trouble as a teenager. Can you speak about that and how you pivoted and what led to you pivoting?
Absolutely. So Hartford isn't an easy place to grow up. Very little opportunity, but so many obstacles in place to make sure that people don't succeed. So I got caught in that trap and got arrested when I was 12 years old. Got a taste of what the juvie life was like. Got my uh, behavior straightened out, so to say. We're gonna say that by my mom, just to make it light on terms. And it kind of put me in the right place, put me on the right path to kind of get my stuff together and pursue a career in academics as well as athletics.
What did that look like in pursuing a career in academics? Like, what were you one of four black males in that class, or getting that degree? And even now, when you look at academics, do you turn to your left and turn to your right and not see black men as teachers?
So it's a lot of things there. So from a student standpoint, definitely was one of the few African Americans within a classroom. So first year went to public school half the day. The other half was I went to an academy for math and science in high school. So they would pull kids from the greater Hartford communities, but again, very few African American, very few Latinx students within those classes. And then moving from there to a private Catholic school, slim pickings. I'd say there's probably maybe 20 African Americans out of the 400 or so kids that were in the school. And then, of course, as I moved on to other tiers, whether it be college, academic space, or even the corporate world in the finance realm, it was the same thing. Like, so no matter what, I was always one of the few. And it kind of really shined a light as far as, there's not a lot of people like us in this space, and in a lot of spaces. It's not just academia, it's not just tech, it's not just finance, it's literally everywhere. And it doesn't really sit well with me. So it kind of helped me point me in the right direction as far as what I wanted to do in my life.
For those folks who may just be joining us, we're again speaking to Rohan Brown, the CEO and founder of Barley, this app that allows you to order your drink right there at wherever you are in this restaurant/bar and have it delivered right to your table, or even if it's outside, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. And so a lot of folks may not understand what an accelerator is. I know for a long time, probably until 2016, I had heard about them, but I had never truly experienced them. And as I started to unpack accelerators, particularly with founders of color or Black founders, there's a pull and push and struggle within an accelerator. To my understanding, accelerating, please correct me if I'm wrong, an accelerator's job is to help you to recraft your business and to retinker it and reconfigure it into a better investment vehicle for investors. So at times that philosophy will clash with the founder's mission for this business. And I found that a lot of Black founders have difficulty completing accelerators or even feeling, desired or wanted in an accelerator, because literally you walk in the door, they're like, now let's start it again. Let's build again. And that's the opposite of how, we interact with each other. You don't just walk in the door and just start tearing somebody apart, unless, of course, it's the dozens and it's kids and something else. But so could you speak to what an accelerator is, and did I get my premise right about how an accelerator is supposed to start? And then what was your experience in this particular accelerator?
Got you. So in my experience, or from my knowledge, you work with incubators first, right? So you have an idea for a business, you kind of want to test it out. An incubator is supposed to take your business from the ideation stage to something that's actually testable. Like you can put it in the market, you can test it, whether it's through surveys or a physical product, it gets it out there. An accelerator is the next step, right? Once you have something that's tangible, people have given you feedback on, or you've taken it from the ideation stage to something that's tangible, they're supposed to take it to the next level where it is fundable, right? You got a great idea, you got some good feedback. Now let's get it in front of investors, or get it investor ready, so that you can now grow it to the next level. So that's my concept or comprehension, so to say, as far as what an incubator and accelerator is. I haven't had that experience of kind of walking through the door and them shredding up the idea. I did my research, I did my homework, so tons of shredding before even getting into this accelerator. So that wasn't my experience. But for this past accelerator I was in, the Players Impact, it was a great experience. They have a wealth of knowledge as well as connections, and they were able to help me tremendously kind of get my personal network out there. So connections to alcohol brands, connections to other tech companies such as Drizzly, as well as, thought leaders within the alcohol and hospitality space, and even a few athletes, which is a pretty big deal. Martin, you're on mute.
Thank you. Let's unpack that a little bit. I think that one of the key things you said in there at the last sentence or so is that you had your stuff already ready,
Yeah.
or you have been through. So your experience in an accelerator, you didn't come into the door walking through saying, help me please X, Y, and Z. You came through the door and said, this is what I intend to do. What are you guys offering?
And this is what I need. Like I came in with a set list of things that I need in order to get to that next step, rather than coming in saying, here I am, can you help me? Because at the end of the day, you know your vision. You need to be able to guide or direct people on what you need so that they can help you.
That right there. Right. Exactly. As the kids like to say, that.
That
Right. That part.
part.
So we talk about, I think it was an article last month that came out and said that Black investments within the VC world has quadrupled, but yet it's still, it's still 3% or whatever, it's some low percent total investments that venture capital angel investors make. Do you have a preference for, not for you, but I'm saying in general, when you've met with all these different VCs and angel investors, is there a preference that you have for either angel money and venture capital money or programmatic money, where it's a convertible note that's a not taking equity at all, but because you went through this program, you get a convertible note?
So I would say it depends on what stage you're at. If you're early, you're pre-revenue, or even if you are bringing in revenue, but you don't have consistent cash flow month to month, angel and program money is definitely what you want. I would not touch a VC until you really understand what your cash flow looks like and you have a projection of where you're going in the next couple of years. Hardcore numbers, not really assumptions. So for me, we're trying to target angel investors. We're trying to target accelerators, program money, any grant money, so that we can still work out our numbers and understand what this cash flow is going to look like month over month. And with VCs, here's a tip: please pattern match. Don't just reach out to any VC just because you see their name or you see somebody else mention them. Make sure that they're investing at the stage. Make sure that their check size is around what you need. Make sure that they can actually give you expertise, because money is cool, is good, but you want smart money. You want people that are going to back that money up and help you grow. Money's not enough.
You said something about match. What was it say?
Pattern matching.
Pattern match. What is pattern matching?
So pattern matching is making sure that your idea, your startup fits with the thesis or hypothesis of the VC. So if you have a VC that invests in food-led startups that are within a certain range, whether it's the growth enterprise or even seed stage, you want to make sure that you're aligning with that versus just email blasting everybody that is investing in the startups. You want to make sure that you're aligned with their thesis. And that's what pattern matching is. It saves you a ton of time rather than just reaching out to everyone.
Got it. That's what's up. That's it. It seems like it's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot of work. Just the investing side is a lot of work. Like right. Not even growing the business and understanding that side. Getting money, especially as a Black tech founder, is like a whole nother job. On top of growing a startup, which is a whole nother job, on top of paying the bills so you can eat, is a whole nother job.
Yes, sir. I am 100% with you. Yes. Wow. So, it's one of the questions I always ask. There's two questions I always ask. This one is one. What would you say is your biggest lesson from your biggest failure?
Legit pattern matching, because my first investment was really, really good group of guys, but they kind of just gave me the money and left me be. I was a novice at the time. I was 23 years old, very new to the startup ecosystem, as well as funding and scaling. So I would say, again, going back to the money situation, make sure the money that you're bringing in has some value behind it, and you're not just taking money. Because again, money is nice, but you want some brains behind that money, as well as guidance to help you grow your business. You don't know what you don't know, and the brains that come with the money could help you understand what you need to know. So that is the biggest lesson. I want smart money.
That's awesome. Got a comment from William who just said that he's just dropping his social support. Got to get back to those deadlines. I feel you, William. I feel you. That's why we're only staying on for another 8 minutes. So looking at the pattern matching concept, could you, or do you, I guess, not could you, do you do that same thing when you're looking at sites and possible partners when it comes to locations, or I don't know if they're called locations, places that Barley would be supported at?
Right. So we work with mostly hospitality groups. We want to be working with organizations that, one, don't have a high turnover rate as far as their staffing goes, and then two, are built and have the same infrastructure as a corporation, so we know who we're talking to, who the decision makers are. And then secondly, they're tech savvy, right? The pandemic has led them all to kind of be more tech keen, but again, there still needs to be more education in this space as far as what technology can do beyond the QR codes. So it definitely helps.
You made me think of something else, and I want to go back to about your video series. How successful do you feel you shooting your videos, putting them out? And that, when I say shooting, so everybody knows, what's your Instagram account?
Real Rohan Brown.
Okay, let me put that in. So how successful do you think that has helped you in this particular stage, knowing that you were going to an accelerator and intentionally shooting videos and then posting those videos even while you were in the accelerator? And these are 8-minute videos or 7-minute?
Around I'd say 4 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So very successful. The whole point of the content was just to share more about myself and kind of give people insights of what the journey of an entrepreneur looks like. It's not easy. It's not all rainbows and gold. It's hard. It's tough, especially you're coming from a low income community as I did. The journey starts way before college. It starts before the tech startup and before the ideation stage. It starts when you're a kid, like having those opportunities and just being exposed to things that are beyond your neighborhood, beyond your community. That's when it really starts. So having the docuseries really helped me get out there as far as telling my story. And it also opened up a lot of doors for me as well. What I truly hope the docuseries did was inspire people who come from the same background as me, or who have been struggling and want to quit, but understand you can't quit. We can't quit as a people. We need to let everyone else know that we are very capable of being just as valuable in this space, no matter what background you come from.
Right, exactly. And on that note, what advice would you give your 12-year-old self today? If you could go back and tell your 12-year-old self, hey, Rohan.
I would tell myself to get into tech, get into coding, data analytics, drones, any emerging technology, blockchain, VR, AR, AI, robotics. I would tell my 12-year-old self, dive in. I'm more on the business side. I'm very business savvy. So from a young age, I've always figured out how to make money, whether that's selling candy at school, creating origami and selling it, making paper airplanes for my classmates. So that's where I, succeeded in striving, figuring out ways to make money. But getting into the tech space so late, I wish I could code myself, or getting into that engineering process. So that's what I would tell my 12-year-old self. Or even esports, of course, another emerging space.
Got it. Excellent. Let the folks know how they can follow you, how they can tap in. What do you want us to do to support Barley?
So you can find me on Instagram at Real Rohan Brown, ROHAN, the color brown, real before that. or on LinkedIn. Link up with me, Rohan Brown. I'm sure it'll pop up. You can Google me, Rohan Brown Philadelphia, Rohan Brown LaSalle, Rohan Brown Barley, and I will come up. And the way you can support is just by sharing my story. Connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with me and follow me on Instagram. And there's much more to come. We are close to closing our round, so we'll have Barley 2.0 out in Philadelphia by the end of this year.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rohan, for coming on and blessing us with your presence and actually taking the initiative to put forth your idea, not being afraid and showing up authentically you. And also, I know that you are working with our children as a teacher. Thank you for that service also.
Absolutely. Got it. It's all about the kids, you know?
Yes, it is. They are our future, as Miss Houston said. All right, bro. I'll see you later.
All right, man. I'll catch you.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back. You know what it is, what we do. We make sure that the Black community here on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook knows those that you need to know. And this brother right here is a brother you need to know. Now, you may know his name because you've heard it before in some other context, but you haven't heard the real Charlamagne until you've heard this brother who has been sacrificing for our country, has been a great stand-up father and grandpa. So welcome to the show, Charlamagne McCarter. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what you do currently here online?
Man, I was waiting for somebody else to come out, with the introduction, man. But I appreciate those good words. Um, Basically, man, I'm a vet. Well, let me back up. I was a father first. Father first, early, started when I was 15. Actually, that's how I ended up in the military. Actually, just uh, being a young father, man, no direction. Took the military route, jumped in, stayed in, did 6-year bid up in there. um, Out, got it in school, tried a school thing, got government contract, and very successful with that. Um, Pushing forward, I was like, the community need help. I started coaching my kids' teams, started seeing that the kids started gravitating towards me and my family because, we was all active and doing different things. So doing that, then just started progressing. During the pandemic, individual reached out to me. He was like, Dr. Larry White, actually, out of the DMV area, said, we putting this compilation of authors together. You got a good story. Let's share that story. Boom, put that out. Then, I got introduced to radio. It was like, hey, we got a opening on this radio spot. You got a good story. You got a good background. Let's get you on radio. From there, I just started progressing, learning, understanding, meeting people like yourself, and just progress to where I am, which is Brick City. Have the Brick City show, community-based show for you guys who in the community. Um, Basically, want to promote businesses, authors, community health, anything to help the community. I'm all about it. Autism, anything in the community. That's what I'm about. And as you can see, you can follow me on all platforms: Brick City, the Brick City Show, or the Real Charlamagne, in professional world, Charlamagne McCarter. And like I said, once again, Pride, I appreciate you allowing me on your platforms. That's a blessing.
No doubt. I wanted to introduce you to the audience and to Black LinkedIn. I appreciate that you are available, and you're doing stuff like mental health and mental wellness conversations online. We know that, particularly, I would say, Black veterans, and specifically, have historically not received the medical and mental health attention that they may need. I did want to
Right.
talk for a few minutes about, I think, something when I first met you. You talked about, I thought it was really interesting, the possibility that you hadn't seen yourself as someone that should receive disability before you get discharged, before you were, discharged. And so, can you tell us a little about that story of the person that came up to you and said, "Hey, you don't leave without
Yeah.
applying."
Yeah. So, I was at Fort Bragg, um, in the process of getting discharged, medical discharge after 9/11. Um, when an individual came up to me who was just chit chatting, he was like, what you got going on, such, he was an old vet, retired. It's like, I'm about to get discharged, and he was like, you got all your paperwork straight? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing my clearing and I'm doing he was like, your paperwork. Like, what paperwork? He said, they try to help you and your family in the future. He was like, whatever you do, don't leave here without doing your paperwork. And he took me to the office, and it was a veteran administration office. And went over there, spoke with an individual, and then, like you said, just to get that ball rolling, for a lot of vets before you get out of the military is definitely beneficial to you because you're already documented in the system. And what I seen after that, it was harder for vets to maneuver in the system once they were out. And it was, like you said, for me, once I got plugged in, started using the VA for my medical care, everything, day one after I got out of the military, and a lot of people like, well, I don't want to go to the VA and this and the other. It was kind of rough in the beginning, but now it's like they outsource so much stuff now. It's like you go to there's your counterparts that work in the civilian world, with the best doctors and everything. So, that was important for me and my family because as time progressed, my kids was able to go to school for free. My house was able to go to school. It was just a whole lot of other benefits that I didn't know that would come along. That if I hadn't had that conversation, they couldn't have taken advantage of it. And my son, look, I'm repping his shirt now. His story is he got a full scholarship football. He never used the benefits. However, he got to Ohio, got into corporate America. He ain't like it. So then he was like, I want to go back and I want to go back to school. Boom. He had an opportunity using Veterans Administration benefits to get his barber's license. He's a successful barber in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's what's up. That's
but
what's up. That
but yeah, and like I said, I'm an advocate for vets, man. And especially, I want to catch the young soldiers. I mean, I definitely help the older ones, but the young ones that's about to get out and they don't have a plan, I'm like, yo, just file. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more than just people just think about disability. It's your home benefits, your education benefits, life. Your life insurance benefits that some of those things you don't want to lose because as soon as you get out, that clock start ticking, and you start losing stuff. Every couple of years, you lose something different. So you definitely want to stay abreast of what's going on.
Can you tell everybody what made you decide to do Brick City show there on the radio station there, and now where you are?
You said what now?
Can you tell everybody what made you decide to do Brick City show and
Oh
tell
yeah.
everybody on the radio station? We'll let to that, and also where can people find you at right now?
Okay. Yeah. Brick City show. Ugh, it was something that was kind of just tossed at me. And at first I was like, I don't want to be on radio, man. I'm just a regular Joe. I just want to lay low. And Tiffany hit me is like, sometimes it's not about me. It's about helping others. And everybody doesn't have a voice. I got to take care of me and myself and my family, but everybody don't have the resources that I have, the seeking, of the knowledge that I have. So a young lady, she saw me in the community doing things, introduced me to a radio station out of Charlotte, internet-based radio, unfamiliar territory, So I was like, you know what? Let me jump in on this, and I did, and it was good. And BRIC stands for Building Rich, Intelligent Culture. Keep it simple. And basically, I just want to build our culture and build different things, keeping it simple because everybody don't have that $1 million budget. Everybody don't have the 6-figure budget. You know what I mean? So just putting things out there that people like they could come from and just share their businesses, share some things that they went through. Like I said, you can reach me at on Instagram, the real Charlemagne McCarter. Uh, Instagram, I have Brick City Show Instagram page as well. Clubhouse, the real Charlemagne. Facebook, Brick City Show fan page. YouTube, Brick City Show. Brick City Show, you type in that anywhere, you should be able to find me. And reach out to me, just like Pride now, we met on Clubhouse, and we connected, what, 4 or 5 months ago. and still rocking till today. It's just like I'm all about
Feels like
building and
almost
building with
here.
positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just building with positive people, man. That's just my nature,
Well, we're happy to have
Yeah,
you
and
as
that
part
goes
of our
back,
community.
that goes back to home. It goes back to home, and then it started home, but then when you go to the military, that's another culture within itself because everybody comes from different walks of life. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we all understand racism. You can't hide from it. However, sometimes people put stuff on the shelf when it comes to life or death. You know what I'm saying? So,
As they
it's a
should,
little,
right? Because they want to live.
yeah,
So
it looks a little bit different in the military, even though we know some things still exist. Some things to put on the shelf in certain situations when your life is dependent on it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a different culture, but I appreciate you trying to jump into helping vets as well using these platforms, and that's why I'm down for the cause. You know, because it's a whole population. I tell people all the time, we get discriminated twice. You get discriminated against because you're African American. Then you get the double discrimination because you're a veteran. And people don't realize how much, people discuss, oh, y'all get everything, this, and the other. Yeah, and we get discriminated against a lot too because we are veterans. And the first thing that they think about, PTSD. You
right.
guys are trained, most of us, like you said, trained for combat. So therefore, that's a whole nother spectrum that people think about. Like these people know how to get rid of people. That's what they did for a living. You know what I'm saying? So they pause and like, I don't know if I want these type of people in my corporation. You know what I'm saying? It's getting more open there because more veterans are getting moving up into higher positions in the corporate America. But then sometimes it's like we we come at each other. Some veterans
Absolutely.
they like, well, because you got the Army, you got the Navy, you got all different branches of the military, Coast Guard. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know Coast Guard is a part of the military.
Have you seen? By the way, have you seen that TikTok? I think it was that it said this is what the military morning workout looks like.
Oh no, I haven't seen that one.
I gotta share that one. They have everybody working out hard, and then they got to the Air Force, and the Air Force is on the beach doing calisthenics on the beach like this. The Coast Guard's in the water. They're doing backflips and stuff. The Army is out there on the pavement. The Marines, but they got the Air Force just chilling.
Hey yo, like real story, man. Real story. We was flying out of Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, right? Wow. And yo, we was going to, I think it was going to either Yuma, Arizona or 29 Palms. I can't remember. But we flew out of Air Force Base, and they fed us breakfast before we left. And we got up. In the Army, they don't play. You don't leave no trash. You don't leave nothing on the table, right? If you leave a crumb on the table, you better pick that junk up. So we get up. We looking around for the trash can, right? Nowhere to be found. We see these little jokers walking around in little white suits, picking up our trays. And we like, oh, y'all just leave your trays on the table and just leave. And I first saw it, he was like, y'all ain't leaving ass around here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't leaving nothing on this table. And then the manager came out and was like, no, this is how we do it here. You can't tell us how to do stuff. And at that point, I was like, I think I signed up for the wrong thing. You know? I was like, man.
Yeah, they got it good.
I enjoy my stint, man. I wouldn't change it for the world. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like I said, me being a vet, my daughter is actually serving right now in the Navy.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a child in the Navy. We had this conversation prior to her going in, what branches would better suit her, as a soldier, and that's a conversation I feel parents should have with their child when they are thinking about going to the military. Do your research. Straight up Army and the Marines is some jobs going to translate to the civilian world. Most jobs not. just straight up. I was in artillery. Nothing out here to blow up nothing unless you're in demolition. And then, like I said, that's a whole nother MOS is demolition. So, I was just trained to do artillery. So I ain't no jobs out here for that. You know what I'm saying? I got some college credit for MAP and leadership, things like that, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? So your child just doing it just to get schooling or whatever, yeah, shoot for the Air Force and the Navy, because more tech things. They're more on the technical side, not in the physical side. So definitely push for those two branches if your child is more looking techie, translating back to the civilian life, things of that nature. I had a cousin of mine. His son got MOS combat engineer for the Army. They was all excited because you hear engineer, you just think, oh, this is awesome.
Science.
Yeah.
Something. But it said combat before, though. Before it said combat.
Combat engineer. And I said, you do realize your child is a glorified grunt. Is a glorified infantryman. Because they're going there before anybody gets there to help structure roads, bridges, anything. And they're going to, even though they're going to have, forward observers around them, protecting them at some point, they're going to still engage.
Yeah, they target practice.
They're going to still get engaged because if you're going to a foreign soil and trying to build things, do things, the enemy is trying to knock it down as fast as you build it.
Yep.
So what I explained to him was like, no, I didn't want to recruit. I was like, fam, this is what your child's about to experience. And then first thing he got in, he went straight to Fort Drum. 10th Mountain Infantry, infantry unit. So yeah, like I said, just people out there, do your research, before you go in.
Well, now that we have
And,
you as part of our community, now that
yeah,
we know
yeah,
that you exist, we can send people to you, to some of the other
yeah.
veterans that we're going to be interviewing, and we really want to make sure that we. I guess I hadn't thought about this just now, and I appreciate you giving me the space to be able to interview you and talk to you, because something just came to me that I hadn't thought about, which is that I guess I am really trying my best to connect communities. So
Hmm.
I saw, your story and the other sister story on Clubhouse about you veterans and what you were going through when you came back home, and also that you were able to get disability at 100%. And that resonated with me personally, that wow, when I hear somebody can traverse or they can travel through a challenge, and they're acknowledging the challenge, they're acknowledging the travel. So the road was difficult, bumps, hills,
Yeah.
but they made it to the other side. So they saw, I need to go this direction. It's not going to be easy.
Hmm.
I'm going to go this direction. I can follow directions, and I can get
Right.
to the other side. So when I hear that, that's a ding, ding, ding for me to go, oh, this person is somebody I want to be around. This person is someone
Hmm.
that resonates with me. But I didn't thought about till you just said what you said about your family and the advice you gave as far as your parents. I'm realizing that one of my goals is to connect the Black community, or maybe reconnect
Hmm.
generally with this segment of our community that I feel like, even though we may surround you with respect and say thank you for your service, I don't think that I don't think that. Sorry about that. I don't think that
That's fine.
we have connected the dots. So you just
Right.
said
Right.
parents check and make sure. And so I
Yeah.
think that what happens is that we think of you on Memorial Day, we think of veterans,
Right.
Veterans Day,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
about it. To be honest, that's what I feel. So
Yeah.
my goal is to definitely connect us and make sure that the
Right.
community is connected.
And
Um,
and this is what I want to add to that as well. Because you tend to have, our culture, military is generally a last resort. Um, and it's a resort that's doable. You know what I'm saying? But I said get everything out of it that you could get out of it. Go to school while you in, do everything that you could get out of it, because they're gonna get everything they can get out of you.
Absolutely right.
Now, in the
I'll
flip side
say
of
you
it,
gotta repeat that slowly.
I
Repeat that
said
again
get
slowly.
everything that you could get out of it. Yeah, that you could get out of the military. Get everything that you could get out of it, because they're gonna get everything that they could get out of you. And that's real. They're gonna push you to the limit, push you things that you're not even capable of doing. You didn't even know you was capable of doing. But they're gonna get it out of you. Or you're not gonna last long. but
No,
what I was
that's
saying about the
facts.
cultures though. But the cultures that I did bump into, which was kind of ironic with the minority soldiers versus some of the counterparts, the Caucasian soldiers. Some of them they had to come in because their great grandfather was in the military. Their great great grandfather was, served in the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a family culture. In order to receive certain things later, as far as inheritance and things of that nature, they had to do their time in service in the military. And like I said, it was like, you're like, yo, your family owned what? This, you like, what in the? But why are you in the military? But then they explain it ain't about the money. It's about our
The
family
honor.
history. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
the tradition.
Yeah, the honor. And and that's why I said it's like you get into the military and then you understand. It's like, wow, Wow. And look, I'm gonna tell you a fun fact. I was stationed with a well-known rapper that had went to the military.
Wow.
He was very popular in the 90s. And like I said, it's public knowledge. Mr. Funky, Lords of the Underground.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
He was in Army. He was a 54 Bravo. He was stationed out in Lawton, Oklahoma, early 2000s. And I was stationed with him. We was the same battalion, First and 17th. I was in service. He was in Alphabet. Yeah, it's crazy. But like you said,
Do you think that and looking at your daughter's generation, do you think that we as a community have lost some of that, or maybe we never had it, the honor, because I felt like, especially in the 60s and 70s,
right,
the draft was one situation, but after the
right,
draft, 70s, 80s, and 90s, I feel like we don't, the Black community doesn't really hold high the military. We hold high the fact that you went to the military, but
right.
we don't necessarily hold high the military itself.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said a few minutes ago, the military is usually out for us. It's like
Right,
the
right,
final out, or you know, you're trying to figure yourself out. You're
right,
trying to
right.
figure out what I'm going to do, or there's nothing else to do, so go to the military. You
Exactly.
know, um, my daughter situation was a little different. She was a baller. She was a basketball player. She
Oh
played,
wow.
ran track. Um, Great athlete, but hated school. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
She was to the point, she was like, I don't want to go to college. You know what I'm saying? But not realizing she gonna have to study and take tests when she got to the Navy. But it wasn't as intensive as college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a little bit different type of schooling because they don't want anybody to fail in the military. They want you to keep progressing because they
They
constantly
want to ring
recruiting
you
every
out.
day.
They want
Yeah,
to
they
ring everything
constantly.
out.
But like I said, it's a constant shift daily. That's why recruiters they never off, and that's the most. Look, a lot of guys that I know been on the recruiting trail is like that's one of the most stressful jobs in the military is being a recruiter because you're constantly hearing no doors and doors slammed in your face, phones hung up on you consistently. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so I couldn't imagine being a recruiter. I wouldn't even have thought of that job. I like my recruiter said, I was the easy one. I walked into the station and said, "Hey, I want to go to the army," and he was like, "Let's go." When you want to leave? I said, "ASAP."
right. Oh wow.
It's a few rare cases of people like myself, but for the most part, man, it's that recruiting job, man. I couldn't have did that.
Yeah, well, I think that this conversation I'm looking forward to having is a layered conversation. It's
Oh yeah,
a bunch of layers to it. I'm glad this is our first conversation. I want people to definitely follow you, follow Charlemagne McCarter on every platform. Then follow Bricks with an S City
hmm
Show, and the URL you can go to is a Bitly link, bit.ly Bricks City Show, all one word. And you will come to Charlemagne's video podcast, his content there. It all lives right there. So I'm looking forward to, as we progress and have these intentional conversations about military life, about veterans, about mental health, about Black men, and what we need
right.
to be doing as Black men in our community, about North Carolina, because I'm looking forward to keeping me abreast of what's happening down there.
Yeah.
I have a cousin that still lives in North. Well, I have three cousins that live in North Carolina. Actually, I'm saying.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm looking forward to these further conversations. And I think it's a
Oh,
good start.
definitely.
Um,
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you allowing me, man, because like I said, we gotta, and I feel this is one thing that's lacking in our community. Period. Collaboration. We gotta learn to collaborate.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
I
think
mean,
I've ever heard
because
that word.
because it's like, and that's the thing. It's like, we was discussing some things, and it's like, no, bro, I want you to have your own. You can follow this path, but I want you to have your own. And like I
Yep,
said, sometimes it's not about who gets there first. It's about who's laying that path for you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in our in our culture, we don't want to wait. We feel like we're supposed to be right there beside you. When you open the door, we're gonna walk in together. But a door is only so
just like
wide.
that. Yeah,
The door is only so wide. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
let me get in the door first. If you go in the door first, fine. You know what I'm saying? And like, and I just like, this collaboration, man. Just I love it, because everyone else does it but us.
Well, I
even
think
if
that
even if it's behind the scenes.
I didn't know that you felt that way. I'm glad you do because I definitely think that there's a lot of opportunity for collaboration. It's something I believe in.
Exactly.
Here in Philly, I'm a part of a group of news outlets that intentionally collaborate. So that's in my DNA from a
Right.
journalist side, but it's also I lived in 6 cities, and every city you live in has a certain personality. So I
Exactly.
expected I had not lived in Philadelphia. I came here from Atlanta, but I had grew up across the river in Jersey, and
Hmm.
my aunt would keep me in the summers. Either I go to North Carolina, or go to Camden, and Camden was
Hmm.
really the hood. And so, but she would say, if you're bad, I'm gonna take you over to Philly. So,
Mm.
and I
Wow.
would be scared. So that's how
Right.
Philly
Right.
had
Right.
that type of reputation. So,
Yeah.
but when I got here, one thing I realized about Philadelphia, or even Philadelphians, that this is one of those cities where you can meet somebody at the diner or shit on the train, and y'all
Hmm.
find out y'all have a similar interest in something. The
Wow.
Philadelphian will collaborate with you on some just GP, like not having known you, not having this is the only city I've been in where black people have just been able to. I've been able to talk to them one meeting,
Right.
not an email, text, and a call, then one meeting, and they
Wow.
say yes or no. Um,
Yeah.
they either feel it or they don't. But
Yeah.
New York, it's a lot of hype. You go meeting after
Right.
meeting, and then you get a little ways. Atlanta
Yeah.
is complete BS. It's like, I mean, not
Yeah,
all Atlanta. Shout out to
I've heard
my
that
people.
several times, man. I heard that numerous times about that. And,
Yeah, the people that's
I
not
know.
from Atlanta, and the people that's lived in Atlanta for all their life, that's good. It's the middle folks that keep effing it up, the
Right.
transplants and everything, But yeah, so I'm with you 100% about black collaboration needs to happen,
Yeah.
needs to be intentional, and
Yeah.
that's really what I want to leave this planet with. That he collaborated and he connected. So that's
Right.
this has been an excellent conversation, man. I appreciate you, and we're gonna do
Appreciate
this
you, man.
try to do this every week. So y'all stay
Okay.
tuned. Go ahead, follow Brother Charlemagne. Um, and try to always figure out where I'm pointing at. Yeah, pointing this way. No, this way. That way.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow Charlemagne on all socials. Charlemagne McCarter on IG. Bricks City, Bricks with an S City Show on IG, and also the Bitly link is bit.ly/Bricks City Show, all one word, for all his content. We'll stay tuned with y'all and stay black, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace. Thanks for having me.
Wow, back again. Something I've been thinking about. Was really blessed to do a conversation, a private community, just this week actually, about how to create funding for your business by using a book or Kickstarter or WeFunder. And so, for those of you who've never heard of WeFunder, you should definitely check them out. It's a pretty cool platform. Um, but one of the things that I think is apparent is that a lot of people think that doing a book is really difficult, and it's not. I'm very blessed and fortunate to have a bookstore in my family, and so just made 24 years in the business. Celebrated it last Saturday in New York City. We're one of the oldest Black bookstores in the country, and it's called Sisters Uptown Bookstore. Let me just share that screen. And because of that, being part of that book world for the last 20 some years, it's really simple. I created a really simple list, and for anybody watching, I'm going to go over that list of how to get your book done. And then we're going to go through what you could do as far as funding, using that book to create a funding resource for you. So hopefully you're tuning in and you're seeing this live here on LinkedIn, but also I'm trying to see. Okay, we do have it live here. Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure we're live on YouTube also. So definitely check this out and enjoy. So like I said, Sisters Uptown Bookstore is in my family. I'm going to do other things while I chat with you guys, so definitely leave a comment so I can keep track of what's going on. But I'm going to share my screen with this list. And the list is, I know it by heart. It's really simple. The first thing you want to make sure you do is set aside at least $50 to $60 to get your book copywritten. You can go to copyright.gov and see what the prices are this week. But copywritten, you need to make sure your book is being copywritten. You can't copyright your title, but you can definitely copyright the actual book itself. So the second thing actually after you do the copyright is that you want to make sure your ISBN, the number that's on the back of the book, that you own that, and make sure that that's something that you are using. Lastly, and not lastly in general, but lastly in this section about the ISBN number, you want to probably get the pack of 10. That's $2.99. Because you need one ISBN number for your ebook, one for your print book, and one for your audio book. And each separately costs $125. So that's $375 versus $2.99 for 10. You might as well get the pack of 10, right? You can go to a website called My Identifiers. That's the only site that sells ISBN numbers that's authorized in the US. Go check out that website and you'll definitely get to understand how to create your ISBN number. Sorry for I was thinking about something else. I want to make sure that you guys know also when you create your ISBN number, you do need a barcode, but Amazon does give you a free barcode, so you don't have to pay extra for that. But lastly, you're going to need somebody to take the book and put it into what's called KDP format, which is Amazon. There's also Ingram Spark. You need somebody for that, to put that book in that format, also for Ingram Spark. So I use a guy on Fiverr, charges $70 to put everything into the KDP format. And so we're at, $2.99 for your book, for your 10 numbers. We're at $50 to $70 for your copyright. And then we're at $70 for the guy to convert your Word document into an EPUB format. And that is pretty much almost done. We do want to create your cover. Now, there's a pretty cool website called CoverJig. So you can use Canva to create the cover, and then go to coverjig.com, and coverjig.com will allow you to create the right type of cover for the format of the book, whether it's ebook or audiobook or a regular print book. And that has to be uploaded to KDP on Amazon. Again, all the stuff is pretty much, it's free. It's not really cost to when it comes to talking about Amazon, and we're talking about uploading and everything like that. So really talking about the cost of the cover, your Canva account, your ISBN numbers, and the price of CoverJig, which is $50. And of course, also the person that you need to edit your Word document into convert your Word document. It's not edit. Convert your Word document into KDP. So in the conversion space, before you do that, obviously you want to edit your document, and you can use something called Grammarly. It's pretty inexpensive. Definitely have a list of beta readers, maybe like 5 to 10 people that can read your book. Again, we're talking about using a book to create funding for your business. So you're like, hey, Martin, you got me. It's pretty simple to create a book. It's under $1,000 or really like $700. Most people hire somebody like me as a book coach or a consultant or a strategist. I'm all of those things. And I typically charge $250. So, something like maybe $750 for this whole process. The thing that's interesting though, and I think this is where the funding comes in, a lot of us are sitting on this great wealth of information that's here that you've probably never thought about somebody else being able to buy that information and you being able to use that process to get your first seed round of funding for your business. And with a platform like Kickstarter, Kickstarter is one of those platforms that lets you raise money via the internet. And also they have a already predetermined list of thousands of people who already contributed to publishing projects. For instance, one that we're going to talk about is Black Sands Entertainment. And Black Sands Entertainment was able to, the first Kickstarter, I think they did it for over $60K. The second Kickstarter they did, I think it was almost like $50K. And then eventually, after I would say maybe 4 to 5 years, they went on Shark Tank. They raised $500,000 via Kevin Hart and Mark Cuban investing in them. And then after that, they decided they wanted to include the audience that has been supportive of them all these years, bought the Kickstarter, bought thousands of the graphic novels or the comic books. And they said, we're going to do a WeFunder. So there's get the book done. Then there's take it over Kickstarter and do a successful Kickstarter. Maybe do a second Kickstarter if you're necessary for volume 2 or what have you. Go to WeFunder. Now, in that space, you're building audience. You're not just alone. WeFunder allowed Black Sands Entertainment to raise $2.3 million from non-accredited investors. So that's the process. The book, getting the book done, about $750 total. Then going over to Kickstarter and using the either maybe you're funding the printing of the book, maybe you're funding, you want to distribute the book for free to certain schools or what have you. And then after Kickstarter, then you have the book, you distribute it, selling it's on Amazon. You're in bookstores like my aunt's bookstore, Sisters Uptown Bookstore. You're doing a book tour, and actually you can use Kickstarter, for a bunch of different things, but you could use it to fund your book tour. And then after that, you're looking at hopefully having an audience and having at least an email list of 1,000 people, and then looking at that and saying, is it the right time to go to WeFunder, which allows you to raise up to $3 million period. Due to the Jumpstart Our Business Act, the Jobs Act, you can do that. And so it's not, pretty expensive to do this. That's why I wanted to take the time, dump it out of my head, create a video for it, have it there. I'm actually going to go over to WeFunder and show a couple of things on WeFunder. I think that's really interesting, at least for me, because I'm really a fan of